Hey guys, it's 2 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, which is the time that I announced in the Facebook group that we'd be getting started. We are live. Come and join if you can at the moment. If you can't, that's fine. You can watch it anytime you've got some time. And then whenever you'd like, go ahead and ask questions about the training in the Facebook group, and we'll be happy to answer those. Today's training is about one of my favorite topics. I love to talk about this because I went through this process more than just once, and that's how to find deals and partners quickly, starting from scratch. So if you're signing up as a partner, what would you do right away after you sign up as a Fundwise partner? Or the question was in the Facebook group, if you had to start completely over and you had no network, no idea of even the finance world or even how to do networking or anything like that, where and how would you start? And we will go over that. First, I'll show you what we'll be talking about in this training today. And that's where to find funding deals starting from scratch. Also, we'll talk about where to find other partners to start earning overrides starting from scratch. So if you don't even know anybody else out there who has clients or is a B2B business or anything like that, we'll talk about how you can do that. So first of all, where to find funding deals from scratch. This is what I would recommend, and this is what I've seen other partners do, is you would start locally with networking groups to learn how to interact and to gain trust with them face to face. One of the fastest ways to get a funding deal is to actually meet with that person. This may be a little bit out of your comfort zone, and you don't have to do this, but I would recommend it. It's a really quick way to get some funding deals. And meetup.com is a great website where you can find groups in your area close by where you can find small events and gatherings and get-togethers, meetups where people are just trying to help each other out. So you can go to meetup.com. It's free to join and then search groups in your area. What you want to do is there's a bunch of different categories that you can search through, and you'll want to go to the business category. And that's where you'll be able to find startups, real estate, small business owners, tech startups, all different kinds of startups. A business partner of mine and I, we did this quite a while ago as we were just kind of trying to figure out referral partners and see how the program would work. And there are a couple contacts that we still keep in touch with, and that has been like 3 or 4 years ago. So you'll develop long-term relationships when you meet locally with groups and different people. Eventbrite is it's a website that displays events in your area. There are all kinds of seminars and conventions and big events going on nearby, where you can go and go talk to people at the booths or go and just network with people walking around with badges. There's often free events. Sometimes they charge money, but there should be plenty of free events to also go to interact with people, start developing a network. Chamber of Commerce is one. I have not personally gone there, but I have known other partners who have and have been able to get business from it. I wouldn't put it at the top of the list. BNI is the largest networking organization in the world. There is a chapter and multiple chapters in almost every city in the world. I wouldn't recommend signing up as a member though, because you'll exhaust your chapter, your small network group, and will have probably a hard time finding more deals after a while. But it's worth to do a visit to a local BNI group, just kind of see what they're about, meet a couple people, and then you can go ahead and maybe set up a couple appointments and meet with people outside of the BNI group. You can only go once or twice before you have to pay and sign up as a member. And depending on the size of the group, is how much they charge for like an annual membership. You don't really want to do that. It's like $500. I was a member of a BNI group for about 2 years, and it was previous to Fundwise Capital. It was when I had my own marketing agency, and I was doing SEO and things like that. And it worked okay. It was great right at first, but then it's really depending on the type of business that you are. It can work amazing. If you're more of like a local small shop, then it can be pretty awesome. I know the flower shop in our group did incredibly well, and auto shops and different things like that. But when you're talking about funding, someone goes through funding one time, and then you got to find somebody else. So really the best way to go about it is to find referral partners who will send a continual stream of business. And so by doing this, and I'll talk about this in a few minutes, you're not just finding people to get funding for, but you're also developing relationships with people that could send you deals over the long term, over and over again. There's also different local networking groups that are different from area to area. We have here in Utah a group called Connect Share. That's pretty cool. They put you in a group of about 8 to 10 people, where every business in that group is complementary of each other, where they could all help each other out, and you work with them for a month, and then you move on to the next group, and then the next group. So that's pretty cool. Corporate Alliance is also another networking group that's more for larger companies, which could also be beneficial. I think Corporate Alliance may be a little bit outside of Utah, but I don't know. But every state and city is going to have their own type of networking group, and it's a great idea to go out and just kind of find out, get a feel for the questions that people are going to have, because this will help you to find people online as well. And now we'll talk about the online version of this. So by going to local groups and meeting with people face to face, you'll get some quick initial deals, as well as develop long-term relationships at the same time. And I share this story right here with a lot of people. One of our first referral partners ever, when I had to start from scratch and basically try to start up a referral partner program without knowing what I was doing, I just started reaching out online. So I went on LinkedIn, a little bit on Facebook. I was more focused on LinkedIn, but I'm seeing amazing things happen from Facebook, some exciting stuff. But anyway, I ran into this guy who has been in the oil market for a long time, but has also done some incredible things as an entrepreneur with franchises. And this guy was amazing. He was about 70 years old, and he had made millions of dollars in his life, just a lot of experience, owned companies and everything, just was a great person to learn a lot from. And he was one of the first people I had the chance to talk to about becoming a referral partner. And he became a referral partner, and it was new for him, the funding world of startups and entrepreneurs. But he learned quickly by going to a meetup.com, and he talked to the organizer of the group, the person in charge of that specific meetup, and he asked that person if he could add some value to the group by having that organizer send an email out for anyone who was interested in growing their business, if they would like to see if they could get some funding. So I thought it was a great idea. That email was sent out by the organizer to, I think it was like a real estate meetup group or something like that. There were a couple hundred people in the group. 7 people applied. 4 or 5 people actually got funding. So that one meeting resulted in multiple thousands of dollars in commissions. Pretty awesome. And then he went from there and started going to local events, and then found some people that would even do some marketing for him. He was able to find some like real estate email lists, and it just went on and on from there, and the doors opened because he was doing some networking. So it's a great place to start with local groups. But kind of the ironic, interesting thing about this guy that I had talked to so much, I still to this day have not met him face to face. So He has been an incredible referral partner, but this segues into finding deals online. I would recommend starting locally and then moving to the online world where there you can develop relationships with people that you could even start talking to on a daily basis and never actually meet them in person. Hopefully, I would hope that you would meet them in person, because there's something about that face-to-face relationship and that face-to-face meeting. So anyway, develop relationships through Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups. Search niche entrepreneur groups online related to e-commerce, startups, small business owners, house flippers, marketing. There's so many different groups that you can find on Facebook and LinkedIn where you can join that group and you can start adding value. Join a group that's relevant to something in your past. You've had some kind of experience. Maybe you flipped a house before, or maybe you've started your own business before. Join a group related to that so you can add some experience to it. And follow the rules of that group carefully and start to contribute and only add value. That's extremely important, because that's how you develop the trust, and that's how you're going to have some long-term relationships that send deals over and over again. Just pick one group to start with, and then you can join related groups after that. But I would do your research, pick a group that you can relate to, that you can add some value, and start commenting in that group and start getting to know the members of the group. And maybe you'll work your way up to get to know the moderators and even the group owner, and to work with them and add them on as a partner possibly. But start with the individuals, show that you're adding a lot of value, and gain the trust of the group owner and the moderators. And even take it on offline, where you can even chat with them over the phone if you want. But start asking questions about people's businesses. Everyone loves to talk about their own business and get to know what their business does. And there's going to be a natural point where you'll be able to offer, hey, would you like to add another location? Or, hey, are you needing a couple more employees? Or, hey, do you need some cash flow, or maybe a rainy day fund or something like that? I can help you out with that. And that's when you share your link with them, if the group allows it, or maybe you have to do that in a direct chat with them. We've had partners that were getting quality leads, like 4 or 5 a day. And at that time, when the first partner was doing that strategy of finding Facebook leads, they were even getting a credit report. We actually used to require that our partners would have to get a credit report of the lead that they were sending in. And that was kind of a big barrier to entry. That's no longer required. We do all of that stuff. All you have to do is share your link with someone that's interested in getting funding, and we take it the rest of the way. We contact them, call them multiple times. We have a dialer that calls people right away, and then it goes into a schedule, and we call them until we get a hold of them. And then we also email them and we text them. We send a lot of emails out with some education, info, and added value. So it's to that point where we're kind of getting annoying, but it's not like spamming them. So there's kind of a fine balance there to make sure that we're not making people mad, but we got to make sure that we want to take care of every single one of your leads. So that's something that's fun, is to find different groups in both Facebook and LinkedIn. LinkedIn's a great place to find referral partners, because everyone in there is business related, is a professional of some kind, part of maybe a big company or a small company or a solopreneur or whatever it may be. But there are, last time I remember, there's over 2 million groups in LinkedIn, and there's probably more than that in Facebook. The market is absolutely massive. I mentioned this if you've seen the webinar. There are over 500,000 businesses started every single month. And then a new article I was checking out, this is on theladders.com. It talks about, there was a survey done with thousands of people that are full-time employees. There are 130 million full-time employees in the United States, and 62% of them want to go off on their own and start their own thing. And that's an enormous amount of people. So the market is absolutely massive. So you have to break it down and define your own specific niche. When you're on a focused niche, you gain experience, you learn how the people react, you learn what kind of questions they have. Like the e-commerce niche is an awesome one. They're wanting money. If someone has like a Shopify store, or if they have Etsy or an Amazon store, they need money for more inventory. And that's something that you can talk about with them. If you have any experience selling anything online, you can start a rapport with them and gain some trust. And then if they can tell that you're trying to help them out, then they'll go for the funding. And you just kind of get your flow going, get some leads, and it only takes a few minutes a day to find and develop these relationships. Okay, where to find other partners from scratch. And this is my favorite thing to do, is find other partners. We do this all the time. And one of my partners, Mitch, is sitting across from me. His desk is just on the other side. And this is just last week. I'll just share this. I'll jump to the story part of this. Last week, he reached out to 3 people he found in Facebook groups. Basically just cold called them and said, hey, it looks like you may know a lot of business owners, wondering if you'd want to monetize your network by providing funding for them. And he signed up two people as partners, and one of them was like a business broker and has a team of agents across the country that just get people funding. And we were an option in his portfolio that he did not have, unsecured credit lines. And so he signed up and he liked our program better than what he had, because there were some more options. It was easier to send referrals over. The company that he was with, where he'd send business for funding, was a lot more difficult. They had to be nearly perfect, have a certain amount of time in business, have really good credit. They were supposed to get documents, all this stuff, send them in, and the company would email the clients over a period of time to hopefully warm them up, and just eventually, I don't know when, but they would somehow apply for funding. That doesn't seem like a very promising referral partner program. I would want my leads to be actively called and followed up with on a daily basis. So anyway, he came over with us, and just actually this morning he sent over about 100 leads that all came through our queue. We get notifications every time a lead comes through. So we see every one of your leads that come through in our Slack channels. And it's kind of fun to see. He sent them over in a batch, and they were all uploaded into our system. There's a little over 100 leads that came through. So just to tell you how quickly things can get moving, it can be today. You might find some amazing people today. So, and that was from a Facebook group that Mitch was on. I found some great people on LinkedIn. A little while ago, I was on LinkedIn for a few minutes at night, and I went to a group, an entrepreneur type group, or it might have been a coaches or public speakers group, and just replied in the chat there. People are responding to different articles, and they're carrying on conversations inside the groups. And so I jumped in and said, hey, it looks like you're a public speaker. You offer some coaching packages from Stage. Wondering if you would like to sign up as a referral partner and offer funding to your clients. So you have another option for those clients to sign up for funding when they don't have, say, $5,000 or $10,000 in cash just to shell out to sign up for your coaching program. So that's a win-win situation. The public speaker would be able to get more deals, which makes him more money, plus he'd be able to get commissions by sending over deals that would get funded. And so you can do the exact same thing, build up that long-lasting revenue stream, multiple of them. You could get 1,000 partners if you want to. You could focus on just doing this and getting all the partners that you can find. And so as you network with other local groups, online, offline, wherever, then you can start get funding deals from referral partners. And there are so many more platforms than just LinkedIn and Facebook, but these, you can find hundreds of referral partners in those two platforms. Instagram could be another one. You could find influencers all over the place. You could go onto YouTube and you could contact the owner of the YouTube channel, and they could maybe do a video for you, and they could sign up as a partner and do a video to their network. There's podcasts all over the place. You could reach out and go on the podcast and be a guest. There's a lot of ways to do this. So here's some ideas of types of groups of people to look for and to get referral partners from. Like the story I just mentioned, look for the win-win situation. Find people who can benefit by offering their network funding, and you get a 10% override on every deal that comes through. In the webinar, it's that recorded training that's available if you've seen it. There I talk about a story where a referral partner, and this has only happened once, but it is possible because it has happened. There's a referral partner that found a large seminar company, a really big one, and that seminar company, they do events every weekend in multiple locations in the country. That partner made $260,000 last year because of connecting us with that seminar company. So there are opportunities like that out there. Those deals take a little bit longer to lock in. Takes a lot of meetings and negotiation, all that kind of stuff. But that referral partner, it really didn't have to do very much at all, just make an introduction, and then we took it the rest of the way with all of the meetings and networking and all that kind of stuff. So here are some ideas of groups that you can look for in Facebook and LinkedIn and other platforms. B2B businesses, consultants, coaches, seminar groups, e-commerce coaching companies, real estate coaching, franchise sellers, business services. Example of that is tax and entity setup. There are a lot of companies that will set up your LLC or your corporation. They're speaking with startups, so they're great referral partners. They could sign up as a partner, and you'd be getting recurring deals every month, every week, maybe even every day. Printing companies interact with a lot of businesses, business cards. There are a lot of business service type companies out there. Mastermind groups. There are a lot of people that will just form mastermind groups, find business owners that get together and they just network with each other. Facebook business page admins, all those thousands of Facebook admins out there that are running a group or that have a business page. They could be great referral partners. Social media influencers, public speakers, and this was just quickly off the top of my head some of the top groups that we work with and that we see a lot of success from. E-commerce is always great. Coaching's always great. So those are a couple of the top ones. So if you know any, let us know, and I'll show you how you can introduce a partner. Right here, how to invite other referral partners. This has been a system that's worked decently. We've had forums in the past where you just have someone who might be interested in being a referral partner with Fundwise partner to fill out a form, and then they put your name in there that they referred you. But this is a little bit more personal of a method right here, is if you're talking to anybody, whether it's online or in person, hey, are you interested in monetizing your network or your clients and offering them funding? Why don't you just sign up for Fundwise Partners? I'll make an introduction, and then go ahead and get their email and phone number if you can, and send us an email to partners@fundwisecapital.com. That goes to at least 3 of us that are working with partners and looking for new partners. It goes to me as well. So I'll see that email come through and just make an introduction. As you're talking to the partner, say, hey, so-and-so, I want to introduce you to Fundwise partners that I was telling you about. They can get you set up so you can offer funding options to your clients or network. You'll not only get more sales to your company, but you'll also earn commissions on each funded deal, and they'll reach out to you shortly. And then we'll go ahead and we'll respond to that email, and we'll copy you on it so you can see the conversation. And if we get them signed up as a partner, then of course we add them under you, and it's automatically calculated that every deal that comes through, you get a 10% override on. So that's a really fun thing, and it's a great way to scale your network and your revenue. You can find a lot of deals, and they'll be coming through, and you'll get paid. There's a referral partner that came through, one of our first ones. He was just reaching out to kind of just doing some cold calling with some big companies. He was finding really large companies and just kind of working through the gatekeeper and setting up appointments for us. And he set up an appointment with this one company about 2 years ago, and he's been paid on it ever since. And they send over leads every week, and so we'll get maybe a deal about once a week from them, which is cool. There's also real estate. The house flipping industry loves our funding, and so with house flipping, there are a couple funding options that we can combine to add more value. And this is a question that was asked in the Facebook group that, how do we find house flippers? And you can find them on Facebook groups and on LinkedIn groups. There are groups that just network with each other. There's a lot of house flipping and real estate investor groups on meetup.com as well. So that's where you can find them. But there's a couple of things that we can do for them. So we can get the unsecured credit lines so they can put money down on a property, or they can use it for improvements or just whatever they want. But if they're getting a larger property, some have even bought properties this way. But some of the larger properties, say if a property is over $150,000, which most would be, then we also have private money, which is like a hard money loan, but a little bit better. So clients can get the unsecured credit lines for down payment to go ahead and get the private loan. And then after they secure the property, we also have financing that they can get 100% of the funds they need for improvements on the property. So a couple cool things that people can do, and we've worked with a lot of real estate investors, really just mostly house flippers. This doesn't work if someone is going to do a buy and hold necessarily. It's really for just flipping a home. Buy and hold, you want secured financing. That's going to be a better long-term route, because we usually don't have like 30-year mortgage type funding, although we'll probably be adding that as well. But house flipping is great. E-commerce is great. And there's just so much you can do. So hopefully I've answered some of your questions that you've had. But I'd love to answer any more questions that you may have. Mitch piped in so that we have some scripts that we'll be uploading into the back office, so that when you reach out to different types of people, you can approach them in the way that we would approach them. It looks like we've got a decent amount of people on the group today, so that's exciting. But thanks everybody for joining the group. I hope this was helpful information from you. If it has sparked any questions in your mind, go ahead and just put those in the Facebook group. We'll be answering those as this training ends in just a minute here. But thanks for joining us. We love our referral partners. We love working with you, and we hope to provide you everything that you need. And we'll be adding more and more as time goes along, but already we have some awesome stuff, some really exciting things for you to take advantage of. And really, I was going to mention this as well. There's basically two paths that all of your clients will go down. One of them is they can qualify for funding right now because they either have a credit score above 650 and they're just starting their business, or they have a business and maybe their credit's bad, but they have some revenue through their business. So we can help them just get the funding there. And then the other route is if they don't qualify at all, then we can help them qualify. And we have a program for that where we basically do a credit analysis and fix what they need to have fixed, and then prepare them for funding and bring them back through, where of course you would always receive a commission for all the referrals that you send in. So I hope that helps, and thanks for joining us today. And I will see you guys and talk to you guys next week, as well as answer your questions that you have in the meantime.